Welcome to Ballers and Briefs on December the 13th, Week 14 recap, Week 15 Thursday Night Football, Los Angeles Chargers at the Las Vegas Raiders. It's playoff push time. You're in or you're out pretty much at this point.
I'm on the edge in one. I need a prayer, but if I get a prayer, maybe I can get both of my teams in. And the other one is crazy. It's I had a lower seed on the draft position in the 10-man than I did in the 12-man. But yet my 10-man, I'm about to clinch for.
You're number one. You're number one overall seed.
And then I must have been on something, not the good stuff, the best stuff on that 12-man draft, because man, it just did not work out the way I wanted it to. Also had a couple injuries, but it happens that way. So, if there's any good love out there, send it to me this week. I need a W.
That Tyreek Hill injury was rough. Like I said, I was sitting there watching it, and I was like, when Levis drove down the field and put them in scoring range, I was like, motherfucker. They're going to – Derrick Henry is going to come in here and run this ball in, and they're going to score, and then Brad's going to lose. And
we'll lead up to it for the listeners. It was – I think my opponent had two running backs, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, and two –
D-Hop. And she had D-Hop too, I think, too.
I had Jason Sanders and Tyreek Hill on the other side. You have to expect your number one to be – you're number one. You need 20 plus points. I said that, I believe, in the beginning when we first started this. You need at least 20 points from your number one to have a chance. When Tyreek Hill went down, you just kind of already started new. You kind of checked that injury. You knew it was bad. So I knew it might get a little bad in the matchup. But I was hoping for a little bit more points, but unfortunately it didn't work out. All three of the players, or two of the players had two scoring touchdowns apiece. It just the sort of that nightmare scenario happened for me and gave me the L.
I mean, it's like me. Like I had the 9-game winning streak come to a screeching halt at the hand. I didn't score 100 points this week because Nico Collins went out in third play of the game. Gardner Minshew just totally disappeared.
Yeah,
I just couldn't. I didn't get any love. The only love I got was from somebody that we were totally off of. I was like, I have to play him. Ingram. Evan Ingram was the only thing I got any points really from. And that was all that I lost to the worst team in the league. Team that was 4-9. I was 9-4. I lost 9-game winning streak. Went from the number one overall seed, dropped down to the third seed. And then in the 10-man league, my wife beat me. She's kicked my ass both times.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Kicked my ass. She's kicked my ass twice. Kicked my ass twice. Both times won top scorer of the week that she beat me. And she has George Kittle, and it seems to be George Kittle goes off every week that she plays me. It was the week that they kept Dallas, he kicked my ass. The week that they play Seattle this week, he goes off, she kicked my ass. And now I got to play her 2 more weeks in a row in the first round of the playoffs.
She might be a better DFS player than you too, She be cracking them on.
You might need to start trying to talk to the wife. We got to bring the wife in, bring Sim in as a guest, a guest host here.
I mean, that's why
her take, dude.
Man. Come on.
She's won a couple tournaments on Draftkings. So
when the Super Bowl the Super Bowl free one last year, when the Super Bowl free one.
What a free one, dude. Them things have like 40 million people in them.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I mean, of course, I think she tied with a couple people, but at one point she was, they were so like it was, and then of course, like little numbers here and there, even though that the players weren't all the same. Some of the numbers still panned out, one catch here and one catch there. But yeah, man, she won. She took first out of one of those big giant free tournaments during the Super Bowl when there's only one damn game on. It's a showdown and everybody's playing it for free, So, but her fantasy football team name is totally her. Fluke picks win championships. I mean, that's totally her. So
it wins DFS tournaments too.
She knows that's what she does. She
I think
plays.
DeVito was the fucking nuts QB over this 2-game Monday slate, dude. So fluke picks win and shit. I did a 20 max and I used Love and the other favorite quarterback Tua, and both of them scored less than Levis and fucking DeVito. So
I saw something that Tommy DeVito.
Work?
I saw a thing earlier that Joe Barry's defense there in Green Bay made Tommy Cutlets DeVito out here look like Michael Vick. I mean, he was just running around, gunning all over the yard, man, running the ball. He was not afraid. And
did you see his agent?
His agent, I was gonna text y'all. I'm like,
him dressed like a pimp,
classic,
like a mobster. Yeah, he was up there in the stands, and he was like this kissing people's face and all this kind of shit.
Head on
it was like straight.
He know he paid for a good amount of time. That's why he know they're gonna at least give him a backup job somewhere.
Yeah,
he getting a backup job somewhere.
Yeah, I mean,
he's dripping. That's what it's about, man. He brought more attention now to DeVito than people saw before, just because he brought attention to himself.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh yeah,
no bad publicity.
He was smart. I mean, dude was smart. But now I was watching the Manning cast, and Eli and Peyton was like, he can't go back now. He can't go back. The agent got to keep wearing that all the time. He needs a new color every week.
Yeah. He needs some gold chains in there laying on that black turtleneck that he
did. He had the gold bracelet like your pops wears, Phil, like the gold chain link bracelets and the rings and stuff. And
gotta have all that. Gotta have the faux finger ring.
Yeah, he was
one of them gold ropes.
Yeah, he was leaning full fledged into the mobster Italiano shit that he was trying. They kept saying he looked like Don Corleone up there.
Yeah, he did.
And so it was.
He's dripping. Italian pimp up there, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. But that game was just something, man. I don't know.
I thought I was gonna win it, man. I was within 3 points of first place, literally all the whole fucking game. So like the last 5 minutes, and then I guess DeVito did something. I don't know what the fuck he did, but out of nowhere he had 15 points and Tua had.
He drove him down.
And I'm
he drove him down. Tommy DeVito went down there, and I don't know, the kid's he's obviously playing for his football future, right? He was undrafted. He's
nothing to lose.
He ain't got nothing. Yeah, nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing. And chuck and duck is all he's got to do. And then when you have a running back like Saquon Barkley.
I had a lot of Wan'Dale Robinson too, which helped because I think he was in the nuts. But that's what helped. And it's like everybody forgot about him. I was like, I'm not forgetting about this dude on a small slate.
Yeah,
Wan'Dale's
gimmick. Wan'Dale's a good gimmick guy. He's a hell of a player.
I like that better though. I like that 2-game Monday slate than one.
Draw it up for him week after week though. You would think that
Dabo would do that. You would think Dabo
would keep going back to the well and keep going back to the well, but they
primetime plays different than main slates, man. I say it all the time. I should have saw that shit coming. I just could not get off of Tua, man. I was like,
"Are you talking about primetime? You talking about primetime? I guess we got to get our Dallas Cowboys plug in here, but I mean that Dallas Cowboys
team, they looking fierce.
Okay, so.
They looking.
I think that they were saying that everybody was like Dallas got to beat somebody before that you can say they're somebody, right? And then they're 10-2. They're winning the division right now. They beat Philly. But think about it like this.
I don't know. Are they winning the division?
They are now. Yeah,
Philly beat them already once.
Yeah, but they have the tiebreaker over Philly now because I think they won.
Isn't it divisional record?
Yeah, because Philly hasn't. Philly hasn't played enough division teams yet, I don't think. That's why.
Yeah, but they'll be tied when they do because Philly's going to beat the Giants and the Redskins, dude.
Yeah, if they keep the same record at the end of the year.
They lost. Remember didn't Philly lose to the Jets? They lost to Washington, right? Didn't they lose?
They never lost to Washington. No.
Oh, I thought it was Washington.
They didn't lose any division games until this.
Okay.
I just know they did lose to some bums. I think it was the Jets or something. So that could be the tiebreaker. If the Cowboys beat the Jets, then that's the tiebreaker.
They did beat the dog shit out of the Jets.
Then that's the tiebreaker right there. That's why they're going to be in first over them.
But I think they're in first right now. They're in first right now. But
I would be the first to say that I sort of heavy on the Cowboys, but they've, made me at least feel that they could contend in the NFC during the playoff time, just given the field of potential opponents that they will face. They could definitely have a deep playoff run. I'm not there to say, hey, they're going to the Super Bowl, but I mean, again, I think that they'll be able to, hold their own with the way their team makeup is to make a run.
They're 4-1 in the division right now. That's why Philly's 3-1 in the division.
Yeah, I can't root for
10-3.
Dallas ever, dude. So I'm always on the chopping block against them. I mean, even if I think they have a contention at winning, I'm hoping that they lose. So I'm never rocking with them. It's the way it is. I can't be out here like, let's go CD Lamb, and I'm like, oh, I also hope y'all lose. No, it's CD Lamb. I hope you do bad. Everybody on that team, I hope you do bad. I hope Dallas loses a first round of playoffs, like they always do. And that's the end of that.
I mean, I don't think if the playoffs started today, they would be the number 2 seed, and they would get the Packers. Is it 7 teams in the playoffs? 7 teams or 8?
They might have to play Philly like week 1 if they beat.
If it started today, they would play the 7 seed, which is Green
or the
Bay.
Saints.
They play. I'm looking at the standings right now. If it started today, they'd play Green Bay.
That puts Atlanta at what seed?
For Green Bay.
Atlanta is not. Tampa is the one. The division winner right now.
Yeah, Tampa is. Yeah.
They beat us.
Yeah, because they both. Tampa has a 3-1 divisional record. That's why y'all are all 6-7, but their divisional record's better than y'all's.
Why?
Nobody wants to win that.
It's anybody's division down the stretch.
Yeah, it's gonna be
I
like
think
that.
You said there's only 2 teams that are technically out of the playoff race. Just only 2 teams.
Probably Carolina.
The Carolina and the Patriots.
Yep.
Carolina ain't won a division game, I don't think. I think they're like 0-3 in the division.
They have won 1 game, and that was against my Texans.
That's sick. And you know what? I bet that game too on the Texans, and it was sick that Carolina won that game. Literally sick. And I'm like, how does this happen, dude?
And then New England's out here playing spoiler, like they beat Pittsburgh last week, and they're out here just playing to kick people's ass and keep them out of the playoffs.
They're playing for their jobs now for other teams, basically, or even for the team that they're on, because I don't know if Bill's coming back.
I think I remember all the rumors I keep hearing.
Coach.
I keep hearing the rumors are that he's done. Like they've come to.
I'm gonna go bang some hookers and keep it moving in life.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know if he even wants to do this anymore.
He old. He ain't got Brady no more.
As soon as I saw him doing the game pickers, I was like, yeah, Bill don't.
He didn't want to start fresh, getting a new QB, building a new team. He'd be 90 before they win again. He is not with the shits. He want to retire a legend.
He's not. The only thing I could see him doing at this point is if he went to the Chargers. That's the only thing. That's the only place I could see him going and having immediate success. Is just because the Chargers have the best quarterback of all the jobs that are going to be open. Herbert, when he comes back, obviously he's out for the rest of the year with that broken finger. He'll be back. They'll figure it out. He'll get an offensive coordinator. Hopefully he doesn't bring his shit bags over there from the Patriots. Maybe he keeps Kellen Moore. I don't know. That's just the case. That's the only case I could see it. If he leaves the Patriots, that's the only place that I can see him going, that he's going to have any success, and he's not going to just tarnish his legacy and just be like, okay, well, here it is. So I don't know, man. I kind of on the thing with y'all. If it was me, I'd just hang him up and be like, I'm out. I mean, I'm never going to catch Don Shula, and I'm not going to catch George Halas. That's it. It is what it is. I mean, one dude basically created the NFL, and the other one just ran the NFL through the 70s. So,
correct.
I thought he'd keep going with it to see if he could get a ring to kind of match Brady's sort of post-Patriot ring win with the Tampa Bay Bucks, but I don't see that potentially happening. I mean, unless he sort of gets a chance to maybe get a Justin Herbert or something like that.
He needs to be hands off. He doesn't need to do this. What he's got. The problem is Bill has all the power in New England, and that's the reason why they suck. If he just goes to coach, gets a general manager and lets them do their job, he'll be fine. He'll be okay. But let's think about it like this: we here in Houston thought, oh God, we were getting some of this whole Patriots bullshit all over again with Nick Caserio, and sit there a couple good drafts, and then holy shit, why was he not drafting for fucking Bill Belichick? Like he drafts Will and CJ in the same draft. He gets a couple good linemen the year before, a couple good linemen the year before. I mean, he's slowly making sound-minded decisions. I mean, we went from fucking 2 years in a row. We had 3 wins total 2 years in a row. We have more wins now than we did the last 2 years, right? So it's sound decisions. So like it's got to be Bill's got to just. I'm here to coach. I'm not here to be a general manager. I'm not here to be like I am now or like Chip Kelly was when he was in Philly with all the decision making. So, but with that being said, the only other really thoughts about Week 14 I really had was Kadarius Toney offsides? You didn't think so?
Yeah, he was offsides.
I don't think he was offsides.
Shit, I think he was.
Offsides.
But it's his fault for not asking the ref if he was lined up
block
correctly.
The ball, if that sideline camera is literally seen, you can't see the ball from that angle. I mean, it's just
across the ball though, right? So
I think that
how big is his foot?
When he held his hand out. I saw this. I heard that was somebody I was watching. I think it was Pat McAfee's show, and it was Aaron Rodgers talking about. Okay, I tell all my receivers, you get up there, check the ball, hold your hand out to say that you're on the ball, hold your hand back to say you're off the ball, and make sure you pay attention to that ref. And I noticed, I watched the video 37 damn different times, and Kadarius Toney never checked with that ref, like you just said.
He didn't check with the ref.
He never looked.
He didn't check with the ref. That's
rule
number one.
It's rule number one. It's
rule
number
one.
He's been freaking Pop Warner to check with the ref.
I mean, you got that case, I think, last year where the guy checked with the ref. He told him he was straight, and then he flagged his ass. I forgot what game that was, but you have that situation. But at least that person covered themselves. They did what they were supposed to do. Kadarius Toney, he definitely should have did that.
And then Patrick Mahomes comes unglued, man. I thought that was funny. Like, I literally thought he was about trying to fight. But if it was me, Patrick Mahomes going to get his ass kicked by Josh Allen.
I mean, at the same time, no, y'all didn't lose because of that play. Like, y'all lost because of how you played the whole game. That play would have won the game, but, at the same time, you shouldn't have been behind the whole game. So
No, that I agree with that. And then Joe Flacco out here looking like $1 million again. Joey, I got one Super Bowl
defense. It's just the Jaguars defense doing Jaguar things.
Well, yeah, we let my defense let fucking Zach. I don't want to be quarterback. Wilson fucking put 30 on us in the rain.
I think what's happening on the defensive side is when you get a quarterback that you think you can kind of trick or fool, you start getting into different type of blitz schemes that actually leave you sort of vulnerable in the back ends, and so then that's where you see guys where they're basically wide open, like Njoku twice, I believe Bell on the other one, and the week before, same thing with Brownings. Unfortunately, the Jags defense just, I think, doing a little too much, and need to kind of go back to what they were doing before. But also, we don't have the pass rush, and it's starting to show now.
Yeah,
that's killer.
And then that's tough. And then the only other maybe is I'm gonna do my best. I'm going to do my best Justin Jefferson impersonation. Set my ass on the sideline with my sunglasses on because that's what he's going to be doing for the rest of the season. He keeps his shit up.
He'll be rocking them same sunglasses, too.
Same sunglasses. He just sets on the side. I mean, injured again? He's supposed to play this week, but...
He remind me of Michael Thomas, dog. When you shine 1 year, a couple years, You get all the love and attention, and you go home, you count that money, and you're like, I don't want to get injured, and I can still collect this check. Let me go ahead and sit down and keep this bench
Well,
warm.
I mean, shit, they scored a whole 0 points. I mean, a whole.
I mean,
points,
they
right?
hear a lot. They see a lot of old NFL players suffering and getting surgeries and not being able to walk. Not Drew Brees can't raise his arm. Fucking Deion Sanders lost half his foot. Like all this shit that they see, and that's not even talking about like traumatic brain injuries that a lot of them got. And they, they already looking at the money that they've made and what they're gonna get guaranteed in their contracts, and they're like, yeah, I think it might be safer to sit here on this bench, man. Stir up some shit.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas went to fighting his own teammates in the locker room, man.
And
gotta be doing that shit on purpose.
And construction workers.
Yeah, you gotta do that shit on purpose, bro.
It's a Saints thing, though, man. Derek Carr out here trying to fight his damn his center, or his center is gonna kick his ass.
The center gonna bury his bitch ass.
He's gonna move. He's gonna move and let somebody just smurf him.
Derek Carr is always interesting because it just doesn't look like the team like plays for him or like reacts to him. It's such an indifferent feel, and it seems like that almost from the moment he's like gotten there. It just didn't seem like the organization truly wanted him, if that makes sense.
I think the team probably didn't want him. The fucking organization probably grabbed him, but the team's like, fuck are we grabbing this dude for?
It feels like that. Maybe it's
Winston, and they were like, why are we grabbing Carr, man? I said the same thing to Cody, and he was like, you're not happy about that? I'm like, fuck no. Fuck Carr, man. We ain't winning the Super Bowl with Carr.
No, man, it's rough. Like, it's really rough. I think that he's gonna be his brother for sure. He's gonna be a backup sooner rather than later. He keeps on that. Keeps his shit up.
He gonna be a backup real soon.
Yeah, it's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I think let's move into this Millie Maker lineup for the week real quick.
Which is sick because it's such an easy lineup to make to win $1 million.
I mean, it's
It used to be back in the day, other seasons, like you would look at the Millie winner and be like, there's no fucking way I get to that guy. Like they would have like the 4th string running back in there that got his first time of the season in play and he got 4 touchdowns. And you're like, dude, I'd have never got to that guy. Or there'd been a player that just doesn't play or doesn't ever do shit, and he came out and got a couple touchdowns and broke the slate because he was only 3K or 2.
These are all starters.
Like, yeah,
these are all starters.
This lineup right here, bro, is literally easy as fuck to get to. I literally played every single one of these players, just not in the same lineup. Literally. I even called that this is one of the games I was interested in on the San Francisco side, but I liked CMC the most. He wasn't in this lineup, but at the same time, it's the game environment. You should be focused on these game environments that we talk about. This is one of those games. The dude stacked Purdy with Ayuk and Samuel.
Rashad White makes his Millie appearance one more time.
Again, and Rashad White's in it again.
This is what? This is the 4th time this season?
It's crazy, man.
Ingram's in it. Cody called Ingram. Mixon's in it. I was all over Mixon. I had him in my single entry.
No. So this is the one I'm looking at. Ingram's not in it. That one was wrong.
It would be likely, and
the likely
his boo didn't win.
No. So that's not the right one.
The next one.
The next one. The other. So that first one I saw, I pulled from NBC Sports, and that was weird because I was like, why would they be giving me something? And then I pulled this one from Fantasy Labs and looked at DFS Army also, and this is the correct one, the Lamar Jackson one.
But either way, that other one scored 226, and it's like, bro, that bitch there's not one person in there that we didn't play.
Yes.
Not one.
Well, I'm saying even in this one, we said to look at the Indianapolis-Cincinnati game. So you got your Joe Mixon in there. We said to look at the Seattle-San Francisco game. You got Deebo Samuel in there. You got
Drake London was chalk. You had to eat some chalk somewhere. He was all over the chalkboard.
And I did say if you're looking for somebody, that is somebody you need to grab off the waiver wire. That's somebody you need to pick up. Isaiah Likely.
Bro, my girl asked me for a lineup. I said Lamar paired with Likely or Flowers. I don't like Flowers because he burned me twice this year. I would do Likely. She pairs with Likely, all for it. She ended up making some good money running that stack, but look, that's with one, bro. Like, there's nothing in here that's like impossible to get to. Everything in here is clean. Rashad White, Joe
Like,
Mixon, Samuel, Drake London, Odell Beckham. I personally would never stack Lamar Jackson with 2. He stacked Lamar Jackson, Odell Beckham, and Likely. So I personally never got
no bring back either. That's crazy.
Yeah, with no bring back. So I personally wouldn't have got here, but I can see how you got here. Like, maybe you stacked with Likely, you filled in the gaps, and you had one spot to fill in left, and you're looking for that cheap, $4,000 player, and you saw Odell and was like, shit, it ain't gonna hurt to have another Baltimore player, and that's how you got there. Like, that could have happened for me because I have done shit like that. But if I'm starting from scratch, I'm not stacking Lamar twice off the rip. If I get there, then I get there. But
I want to know what
lineup is not hard to get to, dude. That's sick.
I think that Minnesota defense was a really smooth play too, which probably put them you separated them maybe from sort of the other picks going into it, because I don't think we talked about Minnesota's defense.
I actually like that game for DFS purposes. That was a get different for sure. I like that game for going over. I think I even bet the over in that game and looked and was like, okay, I lost that. I knew I lost that at halftime. But it could be another one of those things, right? Where you have a certain amount of money left over at the end and you're like, usually it's your defense is last sometimes for most people, and they're like, what defense can I afford after I got everybody I want? And they're like, I'm stuck between Minnesota and some other people, and they're like, Vegas ain't been doing shit. Let me put Minnesota in there and $1 million.
I mean, you could have. I'm just looking at some lineups. You could have afforded. I mean, you could have dumped Austin Eckler here and ended up with David Njoku for 6 more points. Not that I'm saying that it would have been upgrade. I mean, it's not that he needed to upgrade, but I'm just looking at some numbers. Some numbers
would have saved money.
Saved money, right? Like, he could have saved money on Austin Eckler. About $3,500. Okay, and then
he could have upgraded Odell to Ayuk, probably made a little bit more points too. For Drake London, this lineup already had Drake London in it.
He could have. Yeah. You could have downgraded. Oh, you could have upgraded Odell. I just said 3,500 to Garrett Wilson for less than 3,500, so like $1,700 because Garrett Wilson had 23 points. Yeah,
it even looks like Rashid Rice. Or I guess he could even have substituted for Rashid Rice and still basically.
Rashid Rice got a little bit less than him.
Yeah,
Rashid Rice got 1920. Odell got 1970.
Yeah. But like, even getting chalky, I mean, as we talk about sometimes taking the chalk, just like you had said earlier, where you were thinking maybe C-Mac was the chalk play. I don't know if anyone called, how dominant Debo went off, but we did, emphasize the fact that there's some chalk there that you probably want to play and that there's going to get a good deal of points. But I mean, as you already said, Phil, and both, is that at least this lineup isn't that sort of, man, I would have never, ever, ever thought about touching these players. Every single one of those players, even myself, I could say, okay, I could see grabbing Drake London. They're probably going to be throwing a lot. Okay, I could see that. I could see Isaiah Likely because you need a tight end, and he's in that Andrews role, which every other week you see a touchdown pass. It just does. It's just the way the scheme sets up. So it's
and London was chalk, man. He was high owned, and he's cheap. So if you're making a lineup and you're like, man, I ain't got that much because I just stacked, all these expensive players, and you're like, I can't go wrong with London because if I pick London and he shits the bed, he's high owned. So you feel safe eating that chalk. And that's why I ate that chalk. I had London in my lineup too. He's not somebody I go to or like to grab, but if he's going to be that high owned and I need a cheap player that I can feel safe with, maybe getting me some points, and if they shit the bed, I'm safe because he's high owned, then I'm grabbing it all day long. And that's maybe like another pointer that people should consider when they're looking at ownership and making their lineups. Like we said it before, sometimes you need to eat chalk. Sometimes there's bad chalk, sometimes good chalk. But then there's also times where it may not be that great of chalk, but it allows you to make a great lineup, and it also secures risk because he's high owned as fuck and easy to get there. I had him in my lineup. I had so many of these people just in different lineups. Like I said, I gave my girl the Lamar Jackson and Likely stack, and she ran that and cracked them. I had Rashad White and Joe Mixon in almost all my lineups. I had Javonte Williams in a lot of my lineups, and he was in the other lineup that Cody sent first because he popped off. And I'm like, dude, like I literally had a mixture of all these players, just not in one lineup.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you definitely could have got different. You could have run that 2 tight end thing, with the. I was just trying to see. I was trying to do some math to see if I could get off. If I could get around, just not running Lamar naked. I was trying to do math, see if I could run Lamar naked. I almost could with Njoku and Rashee Rice, and pair out and take out Elston Eckler. The math almost worked. But I was just trying to see if we could run him naked. But yeah, man, that's crazy. I mean, I don't think that I didn't see Minnesota's defense putting up 20. I didn't see obviously that game being the lowest scoring ball game since like 2007 or whatever the hell they said it was.
That shit was crazy. I did not see that happening.
And then they
Jefferson coming back and I did not see that happening.
Put Dobbs on the bench because he couldn't move the ball and he got notoriety. NASA starts calling him, and now he's going to the bench for a 4th string guy.
Crazy, man. You can't move the ball on the Raiders. It's crazy because Raiders don't even have a solid defense. That's why I like that game for DFS potential, man. Like
all they got is Max Crosby.
Yeah, he couldn't avoid Max Crosby. You can't avoid one guy.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why, like, when you pull back, instead of immediately looking at your receivers, look at him first. If he's going this way, motherfucker, you rotate this way and look at your receivers. Yeah. It's not that hard. It's a blink of an eye. If he coming this way, you move this way. Throw the ball.
I mean, I know that
and he just stand there. He see him coming. He's like,
we had a few of those questions the other night about who we should play and this, that, and the other. And we told the guys, hey, you got to don't play Nico Collins. So I had to eat that myself because it's just all I had. We had said go to Devontae Smith over at Nico. Well, of course, that panned out, obviously. I was thinking some other stuff that we were – what was another question that we got? That remember me and you were talking about it during the ball game, Phil? Shit.
Yeah, I know
the Trey Palmer over Josh
he did
Kelly.
Shit, but he did better than, the other
the guys had, yeah. So
I mean, you can't do much when that's your options, but we definitely called to sit Nico Collins. And you had stated that you had to run him out in your 12-man or something.
I ran
DFS,
him out.
Man, we said he was going to be covered, by Sauce Gardner. And we was DJ right, Reese, boy. You ain't moving on that motherfucker. So,
but I didn't think about this. I did not think about this, and I was thinking in my head, why the hell is Sauce Gardner so good as a corner, as a man press corner like he is? My man is 6 foot.
Aggressive.
He's fucking 6'4". That's why he's so good.
He's probably got long ass arms.
6'4", and his fucking everything. His fucking reach is like almost the size of Megatron's reach.
Yeah, he can literally be burnt by 12 feet and block it.
He's got I believe either a 4.2 or 4.3 40. Also, his ability to get out of a break and lateral movement is very fast, and that's what you have to be able to do is flip your hips as a cornerback in order to stay. He's also really smart defender, basically kind of running the routes for them, almost like a Darrelle Revis. He feels just like a bigger version of Darrelle Revis. He's just shut down. But that's what you want from your cornerbacks. I mean, the ability to play man and play off, but still play shutdown. And I think
that he's probably the best corner in the league right now. I mean, I think that's safe to say, just because if they gave out an MVP award for defense, obviously they do give Defensive Player of the Year, but I don't think they'll give it to him because his team sucks, right? His team's fucking ass. But if you took him off and plopped him on any other defense that's a top tier defensive coordinator, like Robert Saleh is a great defensive coordinator. Don't get me wrong, man, his defense is great. I just think that they just put all their eggs in the Aaron Rodgers basket, and that shit blew up in their face when his Achilles popped, right? But I do think that Sauce Gardner, he makes all the difference in the world, man. Like, makes all the difference in the world when you got somebody you can depend on. And then, like I said, DJ Reed's he's pretty damn good too. He's good. And they made CJ Lewis mine, and of course he got concussion, so I don't even know if he's even going to be out there on Sunday. So I don't know. But yeah, so
going to the shitty game tomorrow.
Yeah. With that being said, on to the most boring game of the week, probably. I was thinking about this. I was doing some little research before the game, and I was like, all right. I was like, Easton Stick, the quarterback for the Chargers. Where did Easton Stick go to school? Can you either one of you know off the top of your head?
I would never know that information.
No,
Brad probably does. Brad might know. He probably knows.
I don't want to kill air.
It's all right.
Why do I feel like Eastern Kentucky? But it's not Eastern Kentucky.
It's not. It's not. But you're close. God. You're like it's one of them type schools.
Oh.
Man, I went to a high school, bro.
Give it to
made it to the NFL.
North Dakota State. He was a
quarterback.
He was a bridge.
Right.
He was a bridge. He was a bridge quarterback between Carson Wentz and Trey Lance. My man had 980 passing yards in his best season with North Dakota State, with the Bisons. I think he won a natty with them.
Yeah, he went undefeated, I believe.
And he has like a 4-touchdown game rushing in college. So
that's that quarterback for Chargers tomorrow.
Like a scrambler style. He's got speed.
He was I always for the longest time in my head used to get him fucking confused with Taysom Hill, because I thought they look a lot alike. They play a lot. They're a lot of the same statures. Huh?
He's got like a Paxton Lynch frame, but a smaller Paxton Lynch to me. Yeah,
tall and goofy.
You saying he's captain material tomorrow? Because Taysom Hill's captain material every week.
I mean, he's not going to be out there catching.
Perspective,
he's not going to be catching. He's not going to be catching passes, but
yeah, but is he going to be running the fucking ball like?
He's going to have to. He's going to have to. They ain't got nobody to fucking throw to.
They got Austin Eckler to run now.
He has the ability to scramble a little bit more than what you would see an Aiden O'Connell would do. But I mean, he has the weapons to have a good game, basically.
The best value that I see on the slate is Guyton. So there's a weapon right there for him to throw it to. That's the best value on the slate right now. Price per dollar value, Jalen Guyton. What y'all think about my man Jalen Guyton?
I mean, he's gonna have to be. It's gonna be. I was gonna give the viewers here a little bit of tiddly bits here. If you're pushing into the playoffs and you're hurting, you need a handcuff. I know Guyton. Josh Palmer's coming back. Josh Palmer is available in about 80% of all leagues. I mean, he's going to be the number one. He's going to be the number one. Josh Palmer's going to be number one. Guyton's probably going to be a number two, pseudo number one. Like, I mean, they're not going to be. But I mean,
by target share, it looked like Quentin Johnson is number one now.
I think it might be.
Quentin Johnson
more than
Guyton, and then obviously Palmer's coming back. So Palmer might,
I mean, he was the number.
What's he coming back from? That's the question.
He's coming back. He's been.
Is it concussion or is it like actual muscle tears and shit?
I can't remember. Hang on. Let me look.
If he's coming back from a concussion, and he's all for my love. But if he's coming back from muscle tears or groin problems, then
he's activated comes off that 4-game IR with a knee injury.
I think I still like Guyton. Got to get some Palmer exposure, but man, knees are so dangerous because if he's catching the ball and he's running and he's getting a hit, man, it's so likely just to fuck that knee up.
You'd be right back in the same boat.
Yeah, right back in the sandbox.
for the Jaguars has been in and out of lineup this year because of knee issues. So I always like to tell people to stay away from that if you can. They might still have a good game, but there's just that potential. But I do like sort of the Chargers a little bit more. I guess if you want to build up a sort of a stack, maybe a 4-2 stack, or what's the optimal saying here for this one? Does
I
your show put
actually don't know
the
yet.
stack?
I don't have it yet, but
But I would take more Chargers players from a daily fantasy
that's what I'm
perspective.
thinking.
If you want to roll the dice, get different. At some point, Quentin Johnson has to show that he's a first round draft pick. Or if not, then maybe next year I'm starting to look at him as possible bust material. I think he has a lot more upside and talent than what he's showing. Maybe this is the primetime game that sort of allows him to showcase himself.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be him. I mean, another thing to note too, another person that's good value or like the second value on the slate's Austin Hooper, but I know, Myers there, Mayer, however you want to say his name, but Austin Hooper coming with the value, and he got half the percent of targets Mayer got, but that's all you need when you fucking cost 800 and Mayer costs 3,200. Like, there's a big difference there. He could essentially get the same amount of points, even though he got half the targets, because he was only 800. One of those being a touchdown, that's slate breaking. So I think you need to pay attention to Austin Hooper in this game as well when it comes to value.
Well, in the injury wise, obviously they'll be without Keenan Allen. Donald Parham is questionable with a shoulder injury. And then for the Raiders, they're going to be without their offensive tackle, Colton Miller. Vontae Adams is questionable with an illness. Josh Jacobs is questionable with a quad. Max Crosby is questionable with a knee. And so
Josh Jacobs.
Jacoby?
Who you?
Jacoby Myers game?
Shit.
Or is he hurt? He's playing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking Jacoby Myers just because with Aiden O'Connell there, isn't it Aiden O'Connell? Yeah, he's more apt to want to throw it sort of right in the middle of the field.
Is it Amir Abdullah that's the true backup to Josh Jacobs?
I keep seeing his ass out on the field. Every time I'm looking out there, it's Dreads with 22 out there. That's all I can see.
Nobody else.
Drew. Yes, Drew. Steve McNair is a Hall of Famer, and he's being left out right now because there are too many quarterbacks that they've already put in the league in the Hall of Fame at the moment. There's too many, I think, that have won a Super Bowl that he's behind in the list. I think, in my heart, he needs to be in there. We've had this conversation a million times before, but they're going to put the Eli Mannings of the world and guys like that have won Super Bowls in there before Steve McNair goes. And then you missed the Tommy Cutlets. You missed the Tommy Cutlets conversation at the beginning. Yes, I would. Shit. What you got to lose at this point? I mean, Danny Dimes, $40 million shit show.
Money changes everything, man.
Yeah.
That thrive, like the reason you're grinding, the reason you're trying so hard is for that money. And then when you get it, it's like, all right, let me take my foot off the gas pedal. I feel like that's what everybody does. I feel like Otani's going to do the same thing. You paid that man that much money, he's going to be like,
well, he's not going to pitch. He's not going to pitch.
I'm not going to fuck my arm up, dog, is what's going to happen. If I start to feel the littlest pain, I got to come out.
He's not pitching until 2025 regardless. So he's going to have to play 2 seasons as just a designated hitter. So they're paying that
$70 million for 2 seasons as a DH.
$2 million.
Well, his contract's $700 million for 10. Oh, it's deferred.
It's deferred. He's deferring it until after his contract's over, so it's deferred. But I did hear that he makes $50 million a year on endorsements, so he doesn't have to worry about his contract money. He makes $50 million a year in endorsements, so that's chump change, right? Like, $2 million. I can send that home to Japan. To give all my people a chance to watch Godzilla -1. That shit is
crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. Worst head coaching job I think the Panthers. I hate the Bears, and I think it's stupid. But the Panthers, David Tepper is a joke. Even though he has billions of dollars, he seems like a psycho.
All right, back to the lab.
Amir Abdullah is got. I think Amir Abdullah is probably your number 2.
Josh Jacobs got that quad injury, man. That's scary as a running back, and he's going to be high owned as fuck tomorrow. So, considering his high ownership, I agree. I think Amir Abdullah is number 2.
But Amir Abdullah is a third down back, though. And that's the reason why we see him on the field so damn much is because they're always behind the sticks and having to throw the ball.
But ain't no other running back out there. Zamir White's out there 3% of the snaps, bro. That's not even worthy to fucking play. I mean, if he gets you a touchdown, then
what I'm saying
one of those ones
if Josh Jacobs is out.
Well, I'm not saying he's gonna be out. I'm saying like he might get injured early and then go out, and you're not gonna know because everybody's gonna be heavy on Josh Jacobs because a quad injury. So he goes out there for the first quarter, and then at halftime you get this fucking message across your screen that's Josh Jacobs questionable to return, and you're like, the fuck just happened, bro? You don't even know. I think that is what's likely to happen, and if that's likely to happen, you should get your exposure ahead of time to whoever's next in line. And it's hard to tell because although Amir Abdullah is a third down back, Zamir White, Brandon Bolden's out there 0%. He must just be on special teams, and Zamir White is out there 3% of the time. So
yeah, our man Brandon Bolden, I think is just
special teams goat.
Relegated to he's Matthew Slater's role now.
Yeah, he's a special teams goat. I think he's happy with it though. He's probably got 4 fucking rings on his fingers.
The check hit the same.
Yeah.
No matter.
Shaking his dreads like he always did.
Shaking his dreads.
Yeah. And another person that I like for the Chargers tomorrow I think it's he's cheap. That Darius Davis, that rookie, he's a punt returner. He's a punt returner and he's a wide receiver. With this problem we got going on with the wide receiver room there in Charger land, and them having a different quarterback and maybe not getting the deep passes down the field, they're going to need to get gimmicky and kind of sweeps around the edge, those kinds of things. Play. And I'm saying like he's 600, like he's one of those guys that
filling the gap when you stack the rest of the lineup.
Yeah.
Their tight end usage too is crazy. It's about even, like on the season and on the prior week. Everett and Parham, they're literally dead even, just about with snap percent and target percent.
Well, one of them is a red zone phenomenon because he's 6'8", and then the other one is basically just a pass catching.
Who's 6'8"? Parham,
yeah, he's 6'8".
Yeah.
Why am I 5'2"?
He's 6'8". He was a power. He was a power forward.
Stole my height, bro.
He was a power forward for Stetson University. There in D-Land.
I mean, with that information, I think I'd rather go Parham than Everett all day, just because they all getting the same target percent, and he's 680 has a touchdown upside.
Does he have more touchdowns than Everett?
I think so. He did.
It seems like he's the more of the red zone target.
That's what I'm saying. He's a red zone phenomenon.
The sort of the blocking, the every down tight end getting up to the red zone.
Yeah. Hang on, I can tell you exactly how.
Well, I mean, that puts in 4 tight ends in the play tomorrow when you're making your lineups. You got Mayer, Austin Hooper, Parham, and Everett that you need to consider. It's not so easy on the tight end side, and you might need 2 tight ends in your lineup to win. I've never seen 3, but shit, I've also never seen 4 viable tight ends in one game. So essentially, Everett gets you, 5 catches and a touchdown, and Parham gets you 2 catches and a touchdown, and Mayer gets you a couple catches and a touchdown. All 3 of them could be in the nuts.
Thank you.
And you're sitting there like, damn, there's no way I'm playing 3 tight ends in one lineup. And
Parham has 4 touchdowns on the season, and Everett has 3 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah.
Parham has 202 receiving yards with 22 receptions, and Everett has He just jumped away from him. Has 293 yards with 34 receptions. So there's your difference. Your catches, Everett's your catches, and Parham's your dink and dunks down in the red zone.
Touchdown. Yep.
And Everett's, you break it down the field, and hopefully you can run the wide receiver, some of the smaller, intermediate, not so high functioning wide receiver routes, because it's kind of what he does, you know.
Got any love for Hunter Renfrow? Used to be a DraftKings god, man. He get 12, 13 catches a game, and now he doesn't get
this
shit.
This matchup feels like they may try to scheme him up a good deal amount of times. I feel like maybe Myers, Renfrow on the Oakland side, and sort of maybe even Michael Mayer, and then kind of come back, maybe go Johnston, go maybe a Davis, you know, kind of keep going it up. Stack it up from there. Maybe even, you know, run out of stick because they got to throw it to somebody.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Devontae Adams is questionable. I think he said with an illness.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, man, but when I'm sick, my body is weak.
I'm sick.
Doing shit,
I'm sick.
Dude.
I'm sick right now, and I ain't worked out in 4 days. And y'all know me. I'm usually I got a damn gym right at the house, and I just haven't.
And then when you do like if you do run like a heavy route or a far route. Like, man, you got to come off the line after that one play. You're like winded.
Exhausted.
Get that breath. You're exhausted. Body's weak. Your nose is running. And you're like, man, I'm done with this shit. I can see that tomorrow. And he's going to be high owned.
And what's killing me is, and I used to feel like Devontae Adams was not touchdown dependent. I feel like now he's become touchdown dependent. He's only got 4 touchdowns on the season. I literally just said Donald Parham has 4 fucking touchdowns on the season. Yeah, he has 76 receptions for 867 yards, but that's only 187 total fantasy points for the season. That's not worth it. I mean, I agree.
He's not getting value for his money. That's he's one of the
11,
lowest values on the slate, dude.
Like not to be $11,000 tomorrow.
Bro, he's 4th from the bottom on value. Meaning, if you play him, man, he's most likely not going to get you the value you need to win. There is ways to get different on this slate, man, and it might include fading people like the chalk, like Jacobs and Devontae Adams. Now, you take a risk doing that because of who they are as players, but, you know, if they succeed, you know, how many people are you still going to be tied with, man? You want to get different somewhere else. You're going to need that Alex Erickson play to pop off that no one else has, or something weird shit, or 3 tight ends in your lineup that, you know, take it. It's easier to say, man, I hope Devontae sickness gets the best of him tomorrow. I hope, you know, the quad injury gets the best of Jacobs tomorrow, and I play fucking Amir Abdullah, and he's now getting passes out the backfield nonstop, and he just gets value based on catches, regardless if he does shit with them or not.
Yeah, and I feel like this, again, like we always say, it's going to play different. I don't feel like – I thought about this really long and hard, right, this and that kind of now. Like, the Raiders' defense would be a viable captain play with the fact that no matter – we just saw that it was 3-0 with them against Minnesota, right? And we kind of feel like Minnesota, I would think Minnesota's a better offense than Chargers right now, right?
Y'all hopped up that Easton kid for me, though, man. Y'all got me thinking dude's going to come out here bucking. So I'm out here thinking Easton Stick, captain, you know, running, making plays. He's fucking prime time, man. He's got a lot to play. This is what we're just talking about, man. They get these big contracts, they stop playing. He ain't got the big contract yet, and he is prime time. He gets all the light, all the attention, all the looks.
What's crazy to me right now, he's not even showing up. He's not even showing up in the
he's not in the Dom station right now.
In the player pool. I'm gonna look and see what he costs. So that
he's not in the Dom station. So
Easton Stick is 9,400.
His parents named him after a baseball bat, bro. He was meant for sports. The Easton, man, I used to play with the Easton baseball bat. That is CPX.
He costs less.
Costs
less than Aiden O'Connell and a little bit more than Jacoby Myers.
And he's mobile. is what you're telling me. He's like a Taysom Hill. That's all I needed to hear. Now I'm sold. I've never seen this guy play a day in my life, and I'm gonna fucking lock button him like he's fucking Taysom Hill. I'm gonna need him to pop off. Plus, Palmer's coming back. We know Palmer can make plays. And then, like I said, Quentin Johnson has been doing the damn thing. I can see the Chargers moving this ball.
Yes.
Struggling to see Vegas move this ball if Josh Jacobs is impacted by his injury and Devontae Adams is impacted by his flu or whatever he's got.
He hasn't been. I'm looking at a little bit of stats on him in the league right now. Easton Stick has only had 2 career appearances in the league. He's had 14 of 25 pass attempts for 183 yards, no touchdowns and no interceptions in 33 career snaps. So
I'm with it. That's good.
No tape. He has no tape on the kid.
That's good. That's good stats right there.
During a large sample, basically in a 3-game preseason, he's completed 44 of 73 passes, so 60% passing, basically for about 4.2 yards an attempt. One touchdown to 2 interceptions, but he did show running ability with 11 carries for 82 yards.
That's my lock button, man. I'm going to go ahead and he's definitely going to be one of my captains. I like to do one captain from each team, but I don't know if I can grab a captain from the Raiders. If I do, if I do, it might have to be somebody like Renfro, maybe. I don't even know.
I think Jacoby is about the only person.
Jacoby or Renfro. It's got to be one of those two. It's not going to be Adams. There's no value in Adams. But I would really like to have Jalen Guyton as a captain, man. It might be my single entry play. I don't know. He got the highest value on the slate, man. And so if he gets you value, it's a lock button.
I think that Easton Stick can pull it out. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like he's either going to do one of two things. He's going to have a Will Levis type game like Will Levis did when he came in as a rookie, that rookie game where he just came and blew the fucking doors off everybody because they ain't got no tape. He ain't got no tape. No tape on him. Don't know his tendencies.
And it's going to play opposite. You know, everybody's projecting this to be low scoring and boring because of the 0-3 matchup with Vegas and the fact that Keenan Allen's out and they got this new quarterback coming in, projected to be low. Play opposite. He comes out here showing his meat.
And you can't leave out Kicker the Dicker, man. Dicker the Kicker. He's
That's another one.
That dude puts up the points, man. He is basically their offense sometimes.
Yeah, that's essentially another good captain. He could get them into the red zone but fail to score, and Kicker the Dicker be dicking.
Yeah.
Dicking them down.
Yep. Well,
what's the spread for this one?
I think it's 3. It is 3. Raiders are favored by 3.
It's at home.
I might actually have to go with the Chargers on Easton, man. My man is a baseball bat.
The Chargers too. This definitely. I'm feeling the scrambling ability. Might be able to make enough plays.
I think he's a better quarterback just off of the stats Cody read and the things y'all said. I haven't seen nothing impressive out of Aiden. My man got 0 points last game, dude. Like, come on, man. Against Minnesota.
Max Crosby being hobbled. Max Crosby being hobbled. One knee problem. That if I am the offensive coordinator, if I am the offensive line coach for the Chargers, I am telling my offensive line, tap that knee. Clip it. Whatever
when we fall down in the middle, that fucking knee.
Like just roll over on it, you know what I'm saying? Keep him down. So just take that one extra little step out of him. Like his dude's a beast. Dude's a freaking beast. But one of the best pass rushers in the game right now. And
if you have to trip and fall on that motherfucker, fall on him.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Be dirtiest player in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Max Crosby also becomes weaker against a mobile quarterback, man. So that's another reason I like Easton, man. If he's mobile, he's gonna be flushing out the pocket. He's not gonna be stepping into Max Crosby like these other people I'm watching do. I'm like, you cannot be serious, bro. You're stepping into him.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like I said, the first thing you should be doing is not looking at your receivers. It's where is he? Identify and gap to the other side of wherever he's coming from. Then look at your receivers.
Yeah.
You might miss some plays, but you're also not going to
I think this is we're gonna see just how far they'll go. Moana pun intended there. So, anyways, I think that's pretty much it for the night. Unless you guys got other thoughts, I think the Chargers is gonna take this one.
That's it.
That's it for me.
Everybody, we have a Facebook page now. We have the Facebook group. I will put the actual Facebook page in. You can go in and like the Facebook page. It kind of pretty much, it's a little bit easier for people to get into, and it goes public. So everything, anytime somebody searches fantasy football on Facebook, it goes live. So other than that, we appreciate y'all hanging out, and we'll catch y'all on Saturday.
Good luck.